Welcome to week 3 of Bible Studies for Life. Today we're continuing in the book of Daniel, so we're skipping ahead to chapter 5. Probably want to read the chapters 3 and 4 that we haven't. Great stuff in there. Nebuchadnezzar has now gone crazy and been moved out of the kingship, and we've got a new king in Babylon, and so that's where our story will pick up today. Before we look at the passage, if you haven't already, hit that little subscribe button down there. Appreciate all of you who have already subscribed. Hit that button down there. Subscribe to our content so you get it in your inbox every week. Be sure and like, comment, share it with others, ask questions. If you've got those, put them in the comment section. And if you want to support our ministry, let me just say thanks to Ed and to others that have supported our ministry recently. We really appreciate that. You can go right here to give.exposedtochrist.com and you can help support our ministry. Okay, let's look at Daniel chapter 5, picking up chapter at verse 13. Okay, so we've got a new king, and Darius, and I'm sorry, not Darius, he's next week. Belshazzar, he's the new king, coming in after Nebuchadnezzar, and there is this dream that he's had. He's looking for answers, and so he brings in Daniel. So we'll pick up. Then Daniel was brought before the king. The king said to him, "Are you Daniel, one of the Judean exiles that my predecessor, the king, brought from Judah? I've heard that you have a spirit of the gods in you, and that insight, intelligence, and extraordinary wisdom are found in you. Now the wise men and mediums were brought before me to read this inscription and make its interpretation known to me, but they could not give its interpretation." Okay, the vision that he had was a hand writing on the wall, and he doesn't know what it means, and so he's asked, it's just like Nebuchadnezzar had done, right? Asked everybody else, he's asked everybody else, nobody can give him an answer. So he hears about Daniel, he calls Daniel in, tell me what it means. However, he says, I've heard about you, that you can give interpretations and solve problems. Therefore, if you can read this inscription and give me its interpretation, you will be clothed in purple, have a gold chain around your neck, and have the third highest position in the kingdom. So we know that Daniel had been raised to a high position under Nebuchadnezzar, but apparently when Nebuchadnezzar went out, Daniel lost his spot. You know, he wasn't Babylonian, he was a Judean. So we understand why he gets moved out. And let you know here, and this is kind of a theme that we know in Daniel, right? There are these others in the government who are working behind the back, who are working behind the scenes and undermining the Judeans, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Read chapter 3. So we know that's happening, and so it appears that when Nebuchadnezzar went out to, eat grass like a cow and all that, went crazy. Read chapter 4. They moved Daniel out. He was gone. He lost his position, and so now he's saying, "Look, I'll give you this position back if you just tell me what this means." Then Daniel answered the king, "You may keep your gifts and give your rewards to someone else. However, I will read the inscription for the king and make the interpretation known to him." I like this. Daniel says, look, you can keep the gifts. You give this to somebody else. He'd already been through this. So he had an understanding of how this worked, and it was very temporary, and it was at the whim of the leader, and I don't need that. But I'll tell you what it says. So he's not holding this over the head. He's not requiring payment or anything, or retribution against others. Just, I'll tell you, I don't need the other stuff. That's not important to me. This has got to blow the king out of the water, right? Because everybody's got an angle. Everybody wants something. Not Daniel, but you, his successor. So he reads the message. He's telling him, Belshazzar, you are the successor to Nebuchadnezzar, have not humbled your heart, even though you knew all this. So it's to say, look, you knew what had happened. It wasn't hard to know the story of Nebuchadnezzar and what God had done to him in humbling him. He says, you knew that, but you haven't humbled your heart. You have not humbled your heart, even though you knew what happened to Nebuchadnezzar. He said, instead, you have exalted yourself against the Lord of the heavens. The vessels from his house were brought to you, and as you and your nobles' wives and concubines drank wine from them, you praised the gods made of silver and gold, bronze, iron, wood, and stone, which do not see or hear or understand. But you have not glorified the God who holds your life breath in his hand and who controls the whole course of your life. Therefore, he sent the hand, and this writing was inscribed. So when this writing went on the wall, it was while he was having this nice big dinner. This vision of the hand writing on the wall came during the dinner when they have asked for all of the gold and silver things that came out of the temple, out of the Jerusalem temple. When Nebuchadnezzar had conquered Israel, when he had conquered Jerusalem, he took all of these precious things out of the temple and had kept them. Well, Belshazzar brings them out of storage and says, "We're going to use that for our dinner. We're going to have these. We're going to have these fine things." And it is a throw in the face of the Israelites to do this. All right, and so this humility that Nebuchadnezzar learned the hard way, Belshazzar didn't learn the lesson. He said, "Instead, you have exalted yourself against the Lord of heavens, because the vessels were brought to you, and look at this, as you drank wine from them, you praised the gods made of silver and gold." So you praise the gods made of silver, gold, all of this, but they can't see, they can't hear, they can't understand, but you have not glorified the God who holds your life breath in his hand, and who controls the whole course of your life. This message, he says, is from the Lord. He's the one who holds your life. He's the one that you are mocking. He's the one who sets the course. He is sovereign over the universe. He is not sovereign only over the Israelites. He's sovereign over all nations and all kings and the entire world. He holds all of it in his hand. He is the one who has kept you alive for this moment, and you have not honored him. He says, so that's why he sent the hand, and the writing was inscribed. And this is the writing that was inscribed: Mene, Mene, Tekel, and Parsin. This is the interpretation of the message. So this is what was written, but here's what it means. And that's really what he wants to know, right? Mene means that God has numbered the days of your kingdom and brought it to an end. God has numbered the days of your kingdom, and it's over. Tekel means that you have been weighed on the balance and found deficient. Tekel is the balance, right? The justice, right, holds out the balance, and justice holds it firm. He is the judge. Perez means that your kingdom has been divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. You're going to lose your kingdom. Boy, this is this harsh word to him, basically saying, look, God holds your hand, holds your life, holds your breath, and God is telling you it's over. You're done. It's all over for you. Man, this is a tough one, right? Because he's saying it straight to them. But here's what I love about Daniel. I mean, Daniel's going to speak truth. He's always going to speak the truth. But he's even going to speak the truth when it does not benefit him, and really when it causes him hardship, when it causes him difficulty and challenge. He's still going to speak truth. And this is so great, isn't it? Because that's the hard time. And I love just this idea about what speaking truth does for you and does in you, that if you determine, I'm just going to always be honest, I'm always going to speak the truth. Now I'm going to do it in love. I'm not going to say it angrily, but I'm always going to say what is right. So I'm really going to think about what I say and make sure that I'm only saying things that I know to be true, that I'm being honest, because if I can't be honest outwardly, then there's something where I'm not being honest inwardly. So to determine that I'm going to always speak truth means that I have determined that as well as I can within my own soul, I'm going to do work to be honest inwardly, so that I can know when I'm being honest outwardly. You know, if we lie to ourselves, then we'll lie to other people. But if we can manage to not lie to other people, it becomes much more normal for us to be honest with ourselves. And boy, this is Daniel. This is who he is. So he speaks the truth. honestly, no matter what the consequences are. And here, we go back and we see that he's made this great promise to him. I'm going to give you all this. That's because he didn't know what the message is, right? But Daniel knows. He's not going to get all that anyway, but he doesn't need that. And he's certainly not going to change the truth of the message so that he can get all of that. In fact, by turning all of this down, he's making it known, I don't need that. I'm just going to tell you the truth. And boy, that's what we need, isn't it? Isn't that great? Hey, I hope you enjoy this. Read the whole chapter. You need to get the sense of the whole story for sure. By the way, read the end and see what happens to the king right after this. All right. Thanks for watching. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't. Like, comment, share with other people. Appreciate when you do that. And we will see you next week.